Okay, we need to get to the bottom of who Elon Musk really is.
Okay, so when did it all start?
It's not when or where, but who.
It starts with the world's oldest supermodel.
Her name is May, like the month, but with an E at the end.
Thanks for spelling my name, Elon.
Says May Haldeman immigrated from Canada to South Africa in 1950. 20 years later, she married Errol Musk, and a year after that, in 1971, Elon was born.
He always was very curious, and when he started reading, anything he read, he memorized. I mean, he knew exactly what he'd read.
I thought I was insane
Why'd you think you were insane?
because it was clear that other people did not. Their mind wasn't exploding with ideas.
They wouldn't understand you?
I hope they wouldn't find out because they might put me away or something.
You thought that?
For a second, yes.
He hated going to school because the other kids liked to follow him home and they would throw soda cans at his head.
Wasn't his parents' marriage tumultuous?
Yeah, Errol was allegedly abusive.
Allegedly.
Did you suffer that kind of abuse?
Yes. You know, there was a saying in South Africa, when you get divorced, you stop falling in the shower. Because every time you have a scene with bruises, you said you fell in the shower.
Elon never talks about his father.
Why is that?
Whenever the topic of Errol arrives, members of Elon's family clam up. They're in agreement that he is not a pleasant man to be around.
It was not a happy childhood. My father has serious issues.
So he sought refuge in computer games, which got him into coding.
He made a space-themed video game called Blaster.
What did video games do for you?
And they made me want to learn how to program computers. Because then I thought, well, I could make my own games.
You get to control something.
Yeah, you can construct a little universe.
When I was in high school, we called them geeks. And it was not a compliment. What is a geek? Somebody who is obsessed with learning something, mastering a skill set or a body of knowledge, and would rather do that than develop social skills.
I think on Wikipedia it says that I was inspired by my father in terms of technology. This is actually not true. I think that needs to be corrected. He's somewhat of a Luddite, actually, in many respects, and particularly computers. He didn't want to buy a computer and refused to use computers and said they would never amount to anything. As far as role models,
Neil Armstrong was one of his heroes.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Do you think, from your knowledge of the moon, having been there, that it is going to be possible in the foreseeable future to set up scientific bases there on anything like a large scale?
Oh, I'm quite certain that we'll have such bases in our lifetime.
That, right there, that's what gave Elon his purpose.
when I was growing up, I'd read lots of books, and they were very often set in the United States. It seemed like a lot of new technology was being developed in the United States, so I thought, okay, I really want to work on new technology, so I want to get to Silicon Valley. Back in '95, there weren't very many people on the internet, and certainly nobody was making any money at all. Most people thought the internet was going to be a fad.
In the following years, he founded Zip2 and then PayPal.
So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry.
I met him when I was 18, he was 19. We were at college.
Science fiction novelist Justine Wilson.
My fear is that we become spoiled brats, that we lose a sense of appreciation and perspective.
How many kids did they have?
6.
I'm only counting 5.
I had a son who died at 10 weeks. It was called a SIDS-related incident. And I went to Burning Man, I think 6 times after that happened. And I had a ritual I would do. And I would go to the Temple of Loss, but I always found a place on one of the walls, and I would write, Nevada Alexander Musk. He was a good baby. And then they would set the temple on fire. And that ritual was incredibly comforting to me.
Did Elon ever talk about it?
No.
He just threw himself into his work.
There need to be things that make you look forward to waking up in the morning. You wake up in the morning, you look forward to the day, forward to the future. In a future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars, I think that's very exciting.
We create a parallel world to escape the world that rejects us, or the world that we find too painful to live in. But some people are so good at doing this and master such an amazing skill set that they take their world and they infuse it into our world and they change the world. And these are the people we call visionaries.
2008, the rocket company is not going well. You've had 3 failures.
Great.
The car company is hemorrhaging money.
Yeah. Each month that passes is literally costs us tens of millions of dollars. I mean, we need to appreciate that.
And the American economy has tanked in the worst recession since the Great Depression.
Right.
This is serious. This is a major threat to our economy.
Move it there!
What was that year like for you?
And I'm getting divorced, by the way. add to that.
And then came the betrayal.
Who betrayed him?
SpaceX's lack of experience bothers some NASA legends, like Apollo astronauts Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan.
But having cut my teeth in rockets more than 50 years ago, I am not confident.
Now is the time to overrule this administration's pledge to mediocrity.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
So they're hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
I think he understood at that moment that he would never fit in.
But I think people can choose to be not ordinary. You know, they can choose to not necessarily conform to the conventions that were taught to them by their parents. So yes, I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary.
But the edge can be a very interesting place to be. I mean, it can be lonely and painful and sometimes dangerous, and I don't mean to underplay any of that. But it's also the place where something is in the process of turning into something else. Revolution enters at the edges. Well, we've spent part, if not most, if not all of our lives trying to amputate those parts of ourselves that did not fit. You know, we've tried to be pleasing and we've tried to do what's expected, and we suck at it. And we eventually reach a point where we realize that we are so depressed or stuck or numbed out that the only way to save ourselves is to figure out how to be ourselves on purpose. Before we call these people visionaries,
this is bad.
Before they have that kind of success, we have other words for them. We call them, geek or outsider, socially awkward, weird, a little different, odd one out.
When critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
we've done it.
That's what outsiders do. They don't change the world from within by fitting in or conforming.
They change the world by creating a new one.
DLC on the countdown now. Falcon 1 is airborne at this time.
In the early days, it was very clear. It was like a David and Goliath story. You know, no privately developed launch vehicle company had ever achieved Earth orbit. Everybody tried and failed.
I started within the first year of the program, and we were designing and building Falcon 1.
The rocket was out on Omelek. It was so cool to go to this secluded place for work. All that was there was the launch pad, a very small hangar, an office trailer, and basically an outhouse for a bathroom.
We would sleep under the stars sometimes, have a perfect sunburn sometimes.
It was like Omelek Survivor, we called it, and we were right there next to the rocket and the launch pad.
+4, +5.
Living through the first few failures of Falcon 1 was really difficult. We literally had blood, sweat, and tears on that rocket. And then to see it come back down so quickly, it was heartbreaking.
Flight 2 was disappointing because we made it almost all the way to orbit. We basically started spinning out of control once the vehicle was in space. But then Flight 3 was just so sad. To basically go through stage separation and then have the stages come back and recontact, that one hurt the most.
We were essentially out of money at that time. We had had the 3 failures, but luckily we had another kind of spare vehicle ready to go.
We pushed super hard to get that vehicle ready. We rented a C-17 to fly the first stage and second stage over to Kwajalein instead of taking the 3 weeks on the barge. When we were landing, we heard a loud pop. We looked back and saw that the first stage tanks had sunken in. I think we thought for sure we were done. I think we thought that was the end of SpaceX.
We still felt like the underdogs. We still had everything to prove. So it was just like, nope, we're gonna fix it and we're gonna make this happen.
3 weeks later, I think we had the first successful flight of Falcon 1.
It worked.
We buckled the stage on the way to Kwajalein, and we still managed to get that rocket to orbit. So that gave us good confidence moving forward that we'd be able to get anything to orbit.
For me, it was like a dream come true because it was something that we had been working so hard for years, like since I started at SpaceX, and that we had seen so many failures for. I just felt validated and proud of the team for doing something that I think a lot of people didn't think was possible.
T-minus 20 seconds.
Stage 2 tanks pressing for flight. Flight computer has control of the vehicle.
Do we see anything on the sensors that's a problem?
No, right now. Nothing.
I'll say go for launch.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Baby. Come on, baby. Let's go. All right, so what you got?
Speed 1.2 kilometers per second, downrange distance 11 kilometers.
Shortly after main engine cutoff, we're going to separate the stages and begin the second stage ignition.
Come on.
Main engine cutoff. The first stage is returning to land as the second stage powers the Orcom satellites to low Earth orbit. The fairings have successfully deployed. The first stage will soon begin its series of 3 burns to head back towards Cape Canaveral.
Okay, where's the... Okay, this is bad. Potentially bad. Standing up. It's standing up. When we started coming in, it sounded like an explosion. Yeah, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, look at this. Look at it. Look at it. It's just sitting there. Look at that.
What? Holy smokes, man. It's kind of amazing that this window of opportunity is open for life to go beyond Earth. And we just don't know how long that window is going to be open. The thing that gets me most fired up is that creating a self-sustaining civilization on Mars, it would be the greatest adventure ever in human history. It would be so exciting to wake up in the morning and think that that's what's happening.
We've come to see the launch of SpaceX's next big rocket, the Falcon Heavy. This vehicle can create more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff and is capable of putting around 140,000 pounds into lower Earth orbit. That's more than twice the weight that any other rocket currently on the market can carry. So right now, the Falcon Heavy holds the title for the most powerful rocket in the world.
We're sort of debating whether to do that on Falcon Heavy or BFR. It will sort of depend on how well the BFR development is going as to whether we focus on BFR for deep space human flight or whether we do that on Falcon Heavy.
What do you see has been the biggest challenge for making this rocket fly?
The biggest challenge of getting to the launch pad has been that we had to completely redesign the center core. So the load going through the center core is much greater than would normally go through a Falcon 9 rocket. Each of the side boosters is putting in 500,000 pounds of of thrust into the center core. So you have an incremental 1 million pounds of force going through that center core, which means we had to really redesign almost the entire stage. All the way through the interstage had to be redesigned to strengthen it.
Okay, well I have one more question, but I want to know what you're most excited about when you watch this rocket fly tomorrow.
I'll be really proud of the SpaceX team for having accomplished this incredible task. And hopefully we inspire the public to get excited about space again.
But it's not just the public getting excited about the Falcon Heavy. Some customers, like the Planetary Society, are planning on using Falcon Heavy for their next flights, hoping that a successful test launch will spell success for their missions as well.
We are tied to SpaceX. We wish us the best today. So the guy, you know, SpaceX is really visionary, but it really is a fantastic idea. Rockets should be like airplanes, where you don't throw them away, you use them and then reuse them. And so it's visionary.
Now, if everything goes well today, how will it feel to see that Falcon Heavy soar?
Oh, it'll be great. No, so, you know, we flew the first light sail almost 2 years ago. And it's a thrill. We're very excited about it. And the idea is to democratize space, to lower the cost of getting to many destinations in our solar system. And the reason you do this, everybody, the reason a society does this, there are two questions, Lauren, that we have all asked. Where did we come from? How did we all get here? Where did we come from? And are we alone in the universe? And if you want to answer those two questions, you have to explore space.
And get people fired up about the future. There are so many things to worry about, so many things to be concerned about. There are many troubles in the world, of course, and these are important, and we need to solve them. But we also need things that make us excited to be alive, that make us glad to wake up in the morning and be fired up about the future and think, yeah, the future is going to be great. You know, and this space exploration is one of those things. And becoming a spacefaring civilization, being out there among the stars, this is one of the things that I know makes me glad to be alive. I think it makes many people glad to be alive. It's one of the best things. And there's really, we're faced with a choice. Which future do you want? Do you want the future where we become a spacefaring civilization and are in many worlds and are out there among the stars, or one where we are forever confined to Earth? And I say it is the first. And I hope you agree with me.
3, 2, 1. Attention all operators on countdown 1. We're going to start our go, no go poll for today's flight. Raptor 1. Go. Raptor 2. Go. Stage 1. Go.
Good morning. On your screen is Starship as it awaits our first ever integrated flight test from Starbase Texas.
Flight directors go for flight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Ignition. 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Flying up.
Starship vehicle, tower clear, we're into pitch over. Onboard view from Starship. What a sight! We're flying at twice the thrust of the Saturn V heading to space.
Execute. There's another engine. Attention all operators on countdown 1. This is the final go, no go for flight 2 of Starship. Again, our T0 is at 7 a.m. Central. Raptor 1. Go. Raptor 2. Go. Stage 1.
Go.
Stage 2.
Go.
Copy, go for flight. Clock is rolling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Stretcher cut off. Stage separation.